One of the things that Koleka Putuma's collection of poetry, Collective Amnesia, seeks to do is take subjugated historical memory and put it in dialogue with dominant narratives of history. In doing so, the collection challenges our notions of the past and the present. Putuma uses rememory to ask the question, what gets made when memory and history are put in conversation with each other? Rememory is to bring back the memory of something past in order to question history. The person doing the rememorying may not have even been present for the event being rememorized or have personally known the individual being rememorized. Gqola tells us that rememory is not merely a recollecting, recalling, or reconstructing of things that have passed, but that it is a way of juxtaposing memory and dominant narratives of history in order to deliver commentary on the disjunctures that exist between the two. Morrison used this concept to effectively recreate the subjugated historical memory of African American slaves in her novel Beloved. African authors like Sol Plaatje, Veronique Tajo, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie have also been doing this for quite some time. Jennifer Makumbi used it to challenge the contemporary homophobic narrative in Uganda that homosexuality is un-African in her novel Kintu. She paints the picture of the kingdom of Buganda in pre-colonial times and chooses an army general, a character that personifies the notions of aggressive masculinity, to show that homosexual practices were widely accepted in East Africa for generations. Putuma uses rememory to challenge accepted writing traditions of archiving and recording of history in the first poem of her collection, Storytelling. This poem is a blank page with a footnote that reads, "How my people remember, how my people archive, how we inherit the world." This blank page speaks volumes. In his article, Drama and the African, Herbert Isaac Dhlomo stresses the importance of orality in African culture and art. This is something that Putuma attempts to show us with this blank page. Putuma is telling us that the stories of most Africans were not written down. These were passed down from one generation to the next using oral traditions like storytelling, praise poetry, clan names, and songs. If we use what Toni Morrison calls the white gaze to analyze this tradition, it appears simplistic, inaccurate, and even primitive. A more positive view from Steve Biko suggests that this tradition values human beings and human interactions and seeks to centralize them in society. This view suggests that without the presence of the human being, there can be no knowledge, that knowledge exists because there are human beings to interact with it. This poem can also be seen as a warning. Because history in this model of knowledge depends so heavily on memory, it is open to gross misinterpretation for the agendas of those who have the power to influence dominant narratives. Putuma is telling us that there is a danger that the custodians of this oral literature may omit certain details or even add details of their own. The custodians who are charged with passing this knowledge down can teach us lies like homosexuality is un-African, or that polygamy is an inherent part of being an African man, or even outlandish theories like the Nguni people colonized southern Africa. Rememory is a technique and a theme that Putuma uses throughout Collective Amnesia. She uses it to revisit the memory of black people being stripped of their land in apartheid South Africa in the poems Mountain and Gqola. In Local, Putuma rememorizes assimilating to white culture through language acquisition and language loss. And in 1994, A Love Poem, Putuma disrupts the accepted dominant narratives around Nelson Mandela's legacy by, for example, equating his idolization to slavery. By putting memory in conversation with the way that history and knowledge get recorded, Koleka Putuma shows us that we can gain new insights and a deeper understanding of how history is recorded with an agenda rather than being an objective reflection of the past. Collective amnesia stands as a landmark on the South African poetry landscape and will challenge and encourage conversation for many generations to come. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I want to welcome you to Botlhale. We want to use this YouTube channel to focus and highlight and start conversations around the incredible works of literature that have come out of Africa and continue to come out of the African continent today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share on your social media in order to help the channel grow. See you next time.